Summary of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. Cornelius Fudge pays a visit to the Muggle Prime Minister in order to have a conversation about the return of Lord Voldemort and the recent string of tragedies that have been triggered by him. These disasters have affected both Muggles and wizards. Fudge says that he has lost his job because he couldn't stop the Dark Wizard. He then introduces Rufus Scrimgeour, who is tough and rude, as his new boss. In another part of England, Narcissa Malfoy goes to see Severus Snape without her sister Bellatrix's permission. Snape agrees to help Narcissa's son Draco with a mysterious job that the Dark Lord has given him. Narcissa asks Snape to do this, and Snape agrees. When Bellatrix asks if it's smart to trust him, Snape tells her that he's worked for Voldemort for years and has been a spy his whole time at Hogwarts. Dumbledore picks up Harry from the Dursleys, where he has been mourning the death of his uncle Sirius. He takes Harry with him to try to get Horace Slughorn, an old colleague, to come out of retirement and teach at Hogwarts. Harry's fame and mystery seem to draw Slughorn in, and Dumbledore tells him not to be collected by the clever professor. Before he drops Harry off at the Burrow, Dumbledore tells him that he'll be giving him private lessons this year and tells him that the Weasleys have special ministry security for his protection, so he needs to be extra careful about his safety. Harry spends the rest of the summer with Ron and Hermione at the Burrow, but their time together is ruined when other members of the Order of the Phoenix bring news of a death and trouble. Harry, Ron, and Hermione meet Draco Malfoy while shopping for school supplies in Diagon Alley. They secretly follow him to the shady used goods store Borgin and Burke's, where he talks to the owner Borgin about fixing a mysterious object and threatens him with unknown consequences if he can't do it. Harry is sure Malfoy has turned into a Death Eater, but no one else believes him. Harry overhears Malfoy talking about working for Voldemort on the Hogwarts Express, but Malfoy finds him, breaks his nose, and locks him in a train compartment, making Harry late for the school's first dinner. Harry is shocked and horrified when Dumbledore tells him that the new Professor Slughorn will be teaching potions and Snape will be teaching defense against the dark arts, the job he has always wanted. This year's work is too much for all of the sixth-year students, but Harry gets help in potions from a strange used textbook he finds in the classroom. It has notes from a student named the Half-Blood Prince in it. Even though Hermione doesn't like it, the prince's notes help Harry become an expert at making potions. This makes Professor Slughorn even more interested in him, so he keeps inviting him and Hermione to special parties in his office while ignoring Ron. Harry is also named captain of the Quidditch team. Cormac McLaggen blusters and acts cocky as he tries out for Ron's job as keeper, but Hermione quietly confunds him from the stands. Harry thinks that his lessons with Dumbledore will be about difficult defensive magic, but instead, the headmaster uses the pensieve to show Harry different memories he's gathered about Voldemort's family and youth. Over the course of many lessons, Harry learns that Voldemort is from the Gaunt family, which used to be rich and famous but has now fallen into poverty and mental illness. In the pensieve, he sees Voldemort's grandpa, Marvolo, and uncle, Morphin, terrorizing Voldemort's mother, Merope. Dumbledore tells him that Marvolo and Morphin are now in Azkaban for their crimes. Merope uses her magic to put a love spell on Tom Riddle Sr., a Muggle she loves. After they get married and she gets pregnant, she loses her charm in the hopes that he will love her for who she is. Instead, he leaves her, and she dies of sadness soon after their son is born. Harry sees Dumbledore take young Tom Riddle back to the home where he grew up and where the matron tells him that he has weird powers and likes to hurt people. Harry also sees a memory of Professor Slughorn that is only partly clear. In this memory, Riddle asks the professor about Horcruxes. Dumbledore says that Slughorn changed the memory so that he wouldn't have to talk about something that made him feel bad, and he tells Harry to get the real memory out of him. Meanwhile, a number of scary things are happening at Hogwarts that put the students' safety at risk. Katie Bell is a member of the Gryffindor Quidditch team. An unknown person puts her under the Imperius curse and tells her to bring a strange package to Hogwarts. When she touches the doomed necklace inside by chance, she almost dies and has to stay at St. Mungo's Hospital for a few months. Shortly after that, Ron takes by mistake a love potion that Romilda Devane meant to give to Harry. Professor Slughorn whips up a remedy and then gives Ron a glass of mead. The mead, however, is poisoned, and Ron is only saved by Harry's quick thinking. Harry is sure that Draco and Snape are behind these failed plans, but Ron and Hermione don't agree. When Harry tells Dumbledore and McGonagall about his ideas, they tell him not to make charges without proof. At the same time as all of this is going on, the three friends are all facing new love problems. Ron and Hermione seem to be getting more interested in each other, and Hermione wants to ask Ron to Slughorn's Christmas party. Ron, however, is annoyed that Slughorn doesn't care about him, so he fights with Hermione. Hermione brings Ron's Quidditch rival, Cormac McLaggen, to the party instead. Ron then starts dating Lavender Brown, whose public shows of love annoy Harry and hurt Hermione a lot. While this is going on, Harry and Ron see Ginny and Dean Thomas kissing in a hallway. Ron says that his sister is acting rudely, and she gets angry and tells him that he has no right to try to control her love life. Harry knows he has feelings for Ginny, but after seeing how Ron treated Dean, he is afraid to act on them. Harry has a lot going on in his life, so he forgets to protect Slughorn's memory. Dumbledore tells him off for not giving this important job his full attention. He drinks a bottle of Felix Felicis, a luck potion he won in a potions contest. He does this because he feels bad about himself. Harry goes to Hagrid's house for the funeral of the Acromantula Aragog. On the way, he meets Slughorn and brings him with him. Slughorn and Hagrid get very drunk, and Harry uses Slughorn's sadness to convince him that telling the story would be a brave thing to do. Harry runs to Dumbledore's office as soon as he gets the memory. There, they see Slughorn talking to Riddle about Horcruxes, which are a type of dark magic that lets a wizard split his soul and live forever. Dumbledore thinks that Voldemort made a few Horcruxes and hid them in different places. It's important to destroy them so that Voldemort can't come back after he's been beaten. Despite Dumbledore's reassurances, Harry is still suspicious of Draco, so he follows him around the house. One day, he finds his foe crying in a closet and telling Moaning Myrtle, a ghost, that he's afraid Voldemort will kill his family if he doesn't do something. When Draco sees Harry, they start a fight. Harry uses a spell from his potions book that he doesn't know how to use, but it cuts Draco's body and almost kills him. Snape punishes Harry by giving him detention every Saturday, so he can't go to the Gryffindor Quidditch final. Everyone is mad at him, but the team still wins the game. While everyone is celebrating, Harry kisses Ginny in the common room, and he and Ginny start dating, with Ron's reluctant permission. Harry spends a few weeks enjoying his new relationship with Ginny before Dumbledore tells him that he's figured out where one of Voldemort's Horcruxes is and wants Harry to help him destroy it. The two apparate to a remote seaside cave, where Dumbledore finds the opening to a secret lake. When they row out to an island in the middle, they find the Locket of Slytherin, a Horcrux, lying in a pool of water. Dumbledore is forced to drink the potion, which makes him physically weaker and gives him scary hallucinations. Harry has to lead their escape across the lake, which turns out to be full of inferi, which are dead bodies that have been turned into monsters. He leaves the cave to help Dumbledore and Operatz to Hogsmeade, where Madame Rosmerta is awake and tells him that the Dark Mark has appeared over Hogwarts, which means that Death Eaters are inside. Harry and Dumbledore fly to the Astronomy Tower, which is closest to the mark. They do this by borrowing brooms from Rosmerta. Dumbledore stops Harry from moving while he is wearing his invisibility cloak. This keeps Harry safe but makes Dumbledore more exposed. Soon, Draco comes out onto the walls and says that he wants to kill Dumbledore. He says that Voldemort gave him this job and that he is the one who made the cursed necklace and poisoned mead. Even though he acts tough, he seems scared and unsure. Dumbledore tells him to switch sides and will protect him and his family if he does. A few more Death Eaters, including Snape, come into view. Snape points his wand at Dumbledore and kills him. Harry runs downstairs after Dumbledore's death freed him from the spell. When he tries to curse him over and over again, the professor teases him and tells him that he is really the half-blood prince. Then he disapparates and, with Draco, runs away. Members of the Order of the Phoenix have come and killed the other Death Eaters. Harry runs to the hospital wing where they are mourning Dumbledore's death and taking care of Bill Weasley, who was attacked by the werewolf Fenrir Greyback. When Mrs. Weasley sees how much Fleur loves her future husband, she makes up with her future daughter-in-law. The future of Hogwarts is unclear after Dumbledore's death and the new security breach, but all of the students stay for the headmaster's funeral. At the event, everyone in the wizarding world comes to campus, including magical animals like merepeople and centaurs, with whom Dumbledore had good relationships. Harry doesn't feel anything during the proceedings. He understands that no adult can protect him from Voldemort and that putting his trust in adults was a silly mistake. He breaks up with Ginny after the funeral. He tells her that he doesn't want the Death Eaters to use her to get to him. She doesn't want him to protect her, but she ends up going along with what he decides. Harry tells Ron and Hermione that he will leave school and look for the Horcruxes even if Hogwarts reopens. He plans to go on this trip alone, but his friends promise right away to join him. Ron tells him that they have to go back to the Burrow and enjoy Bill and Fleur's wedding before they can leave. Harry is a little bit glad to know that good things, like weddings, can still happen even in this new time of chaos. Even though the road ahead is dangerous, he feels better knowing that his two best friends will be with him.
About the author. Rowling was born outside of Bristol, England, to Peter James Rowling and in Rowling. Rowling wrote a lot of fairy stories as a child. She was very smart for her age. Rowling went to high school and college at Wydene, where her mother worked. Rowling then went to the University of Exeter, where she studied French and ancient Greek and Latin. After that, she worked for Amnesty International in London as a writer and English secretary. Later, Rowling went to Portugal, where she taught English at night and wrote during the day. There, she met Jorge Arens, a Portuguese writer. They got married after 2 years, and their daughter Jessica was born the following year. A few months after Jessica was born, the pair broke up, and Rowling moved with her young daughter to Edinburgh, Scotland. Rowling got the idea for the Harry Potter series in 1990. She wrote the first book of the series while taking a course to become a teacher. Then, in 1995, Rowling finished writing Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. At first, there were only 1,000 prints. 5 months later, the book got its first award. At the beginning of 1998, Scholastic Inc. paid $105,000 for the rights to print the novel in the United States. With each book, Harry Potter became more and more popular and broke sales records. Harry Potter is now a world brand worth about $15 billion, and the movies based on the books have broken box office records. Rowling got married again and had a second child in 2001. She is also known as a generous person who gives a lot of money to fight poverty, social inequality, and multiple sclerosis, which killed her mother. She keeps writing, and under the name Robert Galbraith, she has written several books about crime.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.